You think South Africa's billionaires and politicians hold all the power? Think again. Behind the headlines, it's black women who pull the strings, build empires, and quietly control industries most people never see coming. Today, we reveal the richest black wives and women in South Africa and how they secretly shape the nation's wealth, power, and influence from behind closed doors. Let's get into it. Number 10. Basetsana Khumalo. Basetsana Khumalo's story is one of elegance, resilience, and business acumen. Many know her as the beauty queen who won Miss South Africa in 1994.
And ladies and gentlemen, Miss South Africa 1994 is Basetsana Khumalo.
But what most don't realize is how she turned that crown into a foundation for lasting influence and wealth. Born in Soweto in 1974, Basetsana grew up in a hard-working family.
I had such a happy childhood. I was raised in a very loving, safe and secure family environment.
Her mother was a teacher and her father a bus driver, both instilling discipline and ambition in their children. Winning Miss South Africa changed her life overnight, but she wasn't interested in just being a celebrity.
And so when I won Miss South Africa, he offered me a scholarship to go to Georgetown University because he knew my love for politics. And Georgetown in DC is one of the best political schools.
She saw the crown as a launchpad into ownership.
Hi, my name is Basetsana Khumalo, and I'm the Executive Chairman and CEO of Basetsana Women Investment Holdings. And it's a portfolio of interests that include coal mining.
Her first major move was in television. After her reign, she joined Top Billing, South Africa's most glamorous lifestyle show. Instead of remaining just a presenter, she co-founded Swelopile Productions, the company that produced the show. That bold step turned her into an owner. When Swelopile merged with Premedia and was listed on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, she officially became part of South Africa's media elite. From there, her empire grew wider. She ventured into fashion and beauty with her own line of cosmetics. She entered property development and even invested in mining and telecoms. Her marriage to Romeo Khumalo, a former Vodacom executive, only strengthened her position. Together, they've built one of the country's most admired business partnerships, with stakes in industries ranging from technology to financial services. But Basetsana has never limited her success to herself. Through the Basetsana Khumalo Foundation, she has focused on education, mentorship, and youth empowerment. Her story inspires young South Africans to see beyond limitations and to create wealth that lasts. Today, her net worth runs into millions, and she is still respected as both a role model and a savvy entrepreneur. From the runway to the boardroom, Basetsana Khumalo proves that true power lies in ownership. Meanwhile, the next woman on our list turned her love for magazines and media into an empire that stretched far beyond glossy pages. Number 9. Kanye Dlomo. No one in South Africa has made magazines, media, and lifestyle work quite like Kanye Dlomo. For decades, she's been at the center of storytelling and influence, using platforms not just to entertain, but to inspire ambition and leadership across the country. She first gained recognition as a television presenter, where her professionalism and confidence quickly made her a household name. But Kanye wasn't content with being in front of the camera. She wanted to shape narratives, not just deliver them.
Thank you. You know, when you're in it, it never seems like an empire.
I can imagine.
And in a way, I like to keep it that way because I think that keeps one humble and grounded. But I did see it.
Her first major step in that direction came when she became the youngest editor of True Love magazine. Under her leadership, the publication's circulation soared, and it became one of the most powerful women's magazines in South Africa. After years of dominating the local media space, Kanye took a bold step and attended Harvard Business School, where she sharpened her business edge. When she returned, she founded Ndalo Media.
I see this particular phase in the media industry as really just forcing us as media owners to find true value and to add true value to consumers. And
through Destiny and Destiny Man, she created publications that blended style with substance. These weren't gossip magazines. They were about wealth, power, and ambition. Readers saw themselves not just as consumers, but as future CEOs, leaders, and decision-makers. Kanye had successfully turned glossy pages into a roadmap for empowerment. Her marriage to businessman and diplomat Jabulani Dalomo also expanded her reach, positioning her at the crossroads of media, business, and politics. Together, their network stretched far beyond South Africa, giving her a seat at tables where influence really matters. Even though Indalo Media eventually closed, Kanye had already left a permanent legacy. She proved that Black-owned media could thrive and that storytelling could be just as powerful as boardroom deals. Today, she remains active in business and investment, continuing to influence quietly but powerfully. Up next, we move from the world of media to a woman whose power reached all the way to the presidential home. If you're enjoying this countdown, now's the perfect time to hit the like button and subscribe. More than 90% of you watch without subscribing. It costs nothing, but helps us bring you even more powerful stories. Number 8. Zanele Mbeki. Zanele Mbeki is the first lady who refused to stay in the background.
Greetings. I'm glad that I brought my written text with me. At my age, I've come to realize that
While her husband, former President Thabo Mbeki, was making headlines, Zanele was quietly shaping one of the most powerful grassroots movements South Africa has ever seen. She understood something simple. If you want to change a country, start with its women.
I'm actually astounded that they did this. I had no idea what they were doing. They wrote to everybody what was supposed to be done, and I wasn't told.
Her training as a social worker gave her a sharp eye for problems most leaders ignored. Instead of relying on charity, she believed in financial independence. That's why she founded the Women's Development Bank Trust. At a time when banks shut the door on poor women, Zanele built one that welcomed them. Through small loans, training, and mentoring, she helped women start businesses that went from street stalls to formal enterprises. It was more than banking. It was a plan to rebuild dignity. A woman with a small loan could buy sewing machines, hire neighbors, and send her children to school. Multiply that across thousands of households, and you begin to see why Zanele's vision was revolutionary. She proved empowerment wasn't just about speeches. It was about money, access, and opportunity. Her position as First Lady gave her visibility, but she never leaned on the title. She served on boards, guided foundations, and pushed policy debates that shaped real change. People respected her because she worked with quiet focus and clear results. Even critics of her husband admitted that Zanele's projects touched lives that politics had long forgotten. Even after leaving the union buildings, she stayed active. She kept expanding networks, advising organizations, and driving conversations around poverty, gender, and inclusion. To this day, the structures she built continue to support women across South Africa. Zanele's wealth isn't in flashy numbers, it's in the lasting influence she has created and in the thousands of women who became independent because of her work. She turned the role of First Lady into a platform for transformation. Next on the list is a woman of medicine, influence, and policy, one whose footsteps lead straight into the heart of government. Number 7. Tshepo Motsepe. She started out as a doctor, but today she stands as one of the most influential women in South Africa.
We've been focusing so much on the matric results, but the early childhood phase of any human being is where we have to put the greatest investment.
Tshepo Motsepe has quietly built her career across medicine, development, and leadership, while also serving as the country's current First Lady.
Furthermore, the global exposure of Silverton siege also creates opportunities for our creative industry.
Tshepo earned her medical degree from the University of KwaZulu-Natal and later added a master's in public health from Harvard.
Why is it so close to my heart? Well, I wouldn't know. When I did my master's, it was in maternal child health and aging, and I got exposed to studies.
That combination gave her the skills to think both as a practitioner and as a strategist.
The many social challenges that continue to plague us, unemployment, poverty, violence, both in the home and in the streets.
She worked in hospitals and clinics, serving communities from Johannesburg to Pretoria, but her vision was always bigger than the ward. Her turning point came when she moved into health development. Tshepo worked with the World Health Organization and UNICEF on maternal and child health, focusing on underserved areas. She also contributed to initiatives aimed at reducing HIV infections and improving rural health services. Wherever she worked, she made one principle clear: healthcare isn't just about treatment, it's about equity. Her marriage to President Cyril Ramaphosa placed her on the national stage, but Tshepo never settled into being a ceremonial first lady. Instead, she used the role to expand her impact. She launched the South African Civil Society for Women's, Adolescents, and Children's Health, driving programs that improve access to care for vulnerable groups. She has been outspoken on nutrition, early childhood development, and education as critical pillars for breaking cycles of poverty. Business also plays a role in her influence. Tshepo is part of the Motsepe family dynasty, connected through her brother, mining magnate Patrice Motsepe, and her position within the Ramaphosa household. This makes her one of the most connected women in the country, bridging politics, business, and philanthropy. Her exact net worth is not always public, but her reach is undeniable. Through family wealth, professional expertise, and her advocacy work, Tshepo Motsepe remains a woman whose decisions ripple across South Africa. Next, we meet a woman whose power doesn't come from politics at all, but from boardrooms, steel plants, and global corporations. A leader who has proven that business is her true empire. Number 6. Nonkululeko Nyembezi. Of course, South Africa's corporate queen, Nonkululeko Nyembezi, makes the list.
Well, Africa, Africa is our home. We drive her growth, and we're pretty serious about that. And so the issues that...
When people talk about women who broke into male-dominated industries and refused to step aside, her name always comes up. She is one of the most powerful business leaders in the country and continues to prove that influence isn't just political, it's economic.
Well, I think the South African banking sector has been stable and mature for a long time. It talks to a multiplicity of factors.
Nonkululeko studied electrical engineering at the University of Manchester and later earned a master's degree in the United States at the California Institute of Technology. From the start, she wasn't afraid of tough fields. While others chased easier careers, she was tackling numbers, systems, and strategy at the highest level. Her early career saw her move into steel, telecommunications, and energy sectors where few women ever held power. She worked at IBM in New York before returning home to join the energy sector and then telecommunications giant Vodacom. She later served as CEO of Arcelor Middle South Africa, the largest steel producer on the continent, where she was responsible for thousands of jobs and billion-rand operations. It was a role that put her at the center of industrial policy and economic development. But she didn't stop there. Nonkululeko later became chair of the Johannesburg Stock Exchange and also served on global boards, including Standard Bank, MTN, and Sasol. Her leadership extended into mining too, with her appointment as chairperson of Alexander Forbes and later as CEO of Icor Coal in Germany. She even ranked among Forbes' Africa's most powerful women, solidifying her reputation as a global player. Everywhere she went, she carried the same reputation: disciplined, sharp, and fearless. Her wealth reflects the decades she has spent at the top. With positions on multiple boards, executive roles, and international ventures, her net worth is estimated in the millions. More importantly, her career path set the standard for South African women who dream of leading in industries long closed to them. Up next, we move to a woman who carries the title of CEO, but also the heart of an innovator, one who has pushed boundaries across business and technology. Number 5. Futhi Mahanyele Dabengwa. Futhi Mahanyele Dabengwa is one of South Africa's most dynamic leaders, and her rise to power has made her a symbol of what is possible when ambition meets opportunity. From finance to technology, she has left her mark in industries where few women ever sit at the table. Futhi's career began in investment banking after earning her MBA from De Montfort University in the UK and completing an executive program at Harvard Business School. She first worked in the United States before returning to South Africa, where she joined Fieldstone, an international energy finance company. Her sharp instincts quickly pushed her to the top, and it wasn't long before she was being noticed by bigger players in the industry.
I must say, first of all, that the accolades are always very humbling, and one has to then live up to them. But what has been the biggest driver for me certainly has been a very high work ethic.
Her real breakthrough came at Shanduka Group, where she rose to become CEO.
It's amazing how with leadership, it's not so much what a person says to you, but it's what you watch, what you see from them, when they're not even aware that you're even looking.
At the time, the company was one of South Africa's most influential investment holding firms with interests in mining, telecoms, and energy. Foodie steered Shanduka's growth and proved that she could lead billion-rand operations in some of the toughest sectors of the economy. But she wasn't done yet. In 2019, Foodie was appointed as the CEO of Naspers South Africa, one of the largest technology investors on the continent.
If you look at our board, the last 6 directors that have been brought onto the board are all women. And so from the chairman to our group CEO.
It was a historic moment. She became the first Black and first female CEO of the company. From finance to media to e-commerce, Foodie now oversees a portfolio that touches millions of lives across South Africa. Her influence goes beyond business. She serves on several boards, including Vodacom and Gold Fields, and is actively involved in mentorship and youth development programs. Her achievements have earned her recognition on international platforms, including being listed among Forbes' Africa's most powerful women. Foodie's net worth is estimated in the tens of millions, a reflection of her long career in high-stakes industries and her current role at the helm of a tech giant. She has shown that South African women don't just participate in the economy, they lead it. Next on our list is a woman who broke records in health, education, and business, and became one of the most admired role models of her generation. Number 4, Judy Dlamini. Every South African knows Judy Dlamini's name when conversations turn to wealth, influence, and women who have broken barriers. She is not only a business leader, but also a doctor, an academic, and a philanthropist who has built her empire step by step while inspiring thousands along the way.
At my home, my dad, my mother, they were very ambitious, they were hardworking, and they never saw themselves as less than anyone.
Judy started her career as a medical doctor. She trained at the University of Natal, but her path didn't stop at medicine. With her sharp eye for opportunity, she stepped into business, showing that she could succeed in both boardrooms and clinics. She later completed an MBA at Wits Business School and a doctorate in business leadership at UNISA, cementing her position as one of South Africa's most educated and versatile leaders.
As a child, I don't remember failing. And I'm being very honest. Life was beautiful, you get stars for doing well.
Her real rise began when she moved into entrepreneurship and investment. Judy co-founded Mbakani Investment Holdings, a company with interests in healthcare, property, retail, and other sectors. The business grew rapidly under her leadership and became a respected player in South Africa's economy. She also served as chairperson of Aspen Pharmacare, Africa's largest pharmaceutical company, and sat on the boards of Anglo American, Woolworths, and other major corporations. She didn't stop at building wealth. Judy also made history as the first female chancellor of the University of the Witwatersrand, one of the most prestigious institutions in the country.
I chose this topic because I really feel that people who dare to dream tend to achieve greatness.
She used that platform to champion education, transformation, and equal access, leaving a mark that went far beyond business. Her accolades are endless. She has received awards for leadership, entrepreneurship, and philanthropy, and her books, Equal But Different and The Other Story, share powerful lessons about resilience and success. Through her foundation, she provides scholarships and mentorship to disadvantaged youth, with a particular focus on empowering women and young entrepreneurs. Her net worth is estimated in the tens of millions, built from her investment holdings, board positions, and decades of leadership. Next, we move to a business powerhouse who made her fortune in telecoms and mining and became one of the richest women not only in South Africa, but on the continent. Number 3, Irene Charnley. The unstoppable Irene Charnley is another powerhouse whose story proves that determination can turn modest beginnings into continental influence.
A trade unionist.
Yes, exactly. To impact the lives of others in a positive way. And the union, actually, that's how I ended up in the labor movement.
She is widely respected as one of South Africa's most successful businesswomen, a leader who built her fortune through bold moves in telecoms, media, and mining. Irene's career began not in boardrooms, but in the trade union movement. For years, she was a negotiator for the National Union of Mine Workers, representing workers in some of the country's toughest industries. That experience gave her a deep understanding of business, power, and negotiation. But Irene was not destined to remain only in labor. She was preparing herself for bigger things.
No, thank you, Bongiwe. It's lovely being on your program, and good evening to your viewers as well.
Her breakthrough came when she transitioned into the corporate world and joined MTN, one of Africa's largest telecommunications companies. As an executive director, she played a critical role in MTN's expansion into new markets across Africa and the Middle East. Those deals turned MTN into a giant and made Irene a fortune as a shareholder. In fact, she was famously known as the Golden Girl of MTN because of the wealth she generated from the company's rise. But telecoms were only one piece of her empire. Irene later became president of the International Women's Forum South Africa, and she has held top positions at companies like Jonic Communications and later as founder of Smile Telecoms, which expanded connectivity in several African countries.
My name is Irene Charnley. I am the CEO of Smile Communications.
Her influence also extended into mining, where she served as a director of Lonmin, one of the world's leading platinum producers. Recognition followed her everywhere. She has been named among Forbes Africa's most powerful women, and she is admired for breaking barriers in industries long dominated by men. Her net worth is estimated at over $150 million, built through telecom stakes, board positions, and her wide range of investments. Irene Charnley stands today as a symbol of resilience and power in South African business. Next, we turn to a woman who rose from royal roots into oil and politics, and whose name is tied to both immense wealth and national influence. Number 2, Bridget Radebe. Bridget Radebe is South Africa's first black female mining magnate, and her story is one of grit, risk, and empire building in one of the toughest industries in the world.
Mining is my passion, and I mine minerals all over the world. One of the easiest and most meaningful ways of entering the African continent.
She has held her ground in mining, a sector dominated by men and global giants, and walked away not only with wealth, but with enormous influence.
I'm driven by the results I see around me. You know, I'm in an industry that is so unique because you're able to see the results. Before I build a mine, you see a pitch of land, nothing around it.
She began her career during apartheid, when opportunities for black South Africans were almost non-existent. At the time, she worked as a mine worker, managing contracts and operations where few women were ever seen. Instead of accepting her limitations, Bridget used those years to understand the networks and power structures. That knowledge became the foundation of her empire. Her turning point came when she founded Mamakau Mining with interests in platinum, gold, coal, and chrome.
And CEO of Mamakau Mining, also one of the first black producers, so been in this industry for quite a while. A very good morning to you. Thank you so much for your time.
Good morning.
At a time when very few black-owned companies were active in the industry, Bridget boldly stepped in and competed with established players. Her company grew into a significant contributor to South Africa's mineral economy, making her the face of transformation in mining. She didn't stop at business. Bridget also became president of the South African Mining Development Association, where she advocated for black entrepreneurs and fought to dismantle barriers that had excluded them for generations. Her marriage to Jeff Radebe, one of South Africa's longest-serving cabinet ministers, strengthened her access to power and policy influence. Her achievements have been recognized globally, and she is consistently listed among Africa's wealthiest women. Bridget's net worth is estimated at over $100 million, much of it built through mining ventures and investments. She has proven that a woman can not only enter mining, but dominate it, and her legacy is one of courage and leadership. And now, we arrive at the richest black wife in South Africa, a woman whose empire stretches from fashion to philanthropy, and who is often described as the country's true first lady of wealth. Number 1. Precious Moloi Motsepe. At the very top of the list is Precious Moloi Motsepe, a woman whose name carries as much weight in philanthropy and fashion as her family's does in business and mining. As the wife of Patrice Motsepe, South Africa's first black billionaire, she is often called the country's true first lady of wealth. But her story isn't just about being married into money, it's about building her own empire of influence.
As we enter the festive season, we are reminded of the importance of promoting goodwill through our actions. We wish you all, our stakeholders.
Precious trained as a medical doctor at Wits University and worked in medicine before following her passion for fashion and philanthropy. She went on to establish African Fashion International, AFI, a platform that transformed South African fashion into a global industry. Through AFI, she has promoted designers across the continent, creating opportunities for African talent to showcase their work internationally. Her influence stretches far beyond fashion. As head of the Motsepe Foundation, she directs billions of rand into education, health, and poverty alleviation. She has been instrumental in scholarships, rural development programs, and initiatives that empower women and children. Under her leadership, the foundation also became the first African organization to join the Giving Pledge, committing half of the family's fortune to charity. She is a board member of several organizations, including global philanthropic and development groups, and her voice is respected both in South Africa and abroad. Recognized for her work, she has received awards for leadership and social development, and her role in building South Africa's fashion economy has been hailed worldwide. Her personal net worth is estimated in the hundreds of millions, and combined with the Motsepe family fortune, her influence is unmatched. Precious Moloi Motsepe is more than South Africa's richest black wife. She is a leader who has reshaped fashion, philanthropy, and power itself. And that's the list. The richest black wives and women in South Africa, the ones quietly pulling strings while billionaires take the spotlight. Which one shocked you the most? Drop your answer in the comments. Smash the like button if you believe these stories deserve more attention, and hit subscribe, because the stories mainstream media avoids are exactly the ones we're telling next.